Okay, I've tested countless antivirus providers over the past year, and let me tell you, some claim protection they just can't offer. This not only leaves your device open to malware and nasty threats, but you aren't getting what you paid for. So let me run through my best antivirus picks and explain why each provider deserves a spot on the podium. All providers mentioned today will be good for different users, so take note of their pros and cons to find what's best for you specifically. Starting with TotalAV. A big consideration when it comes to top antivirus providers is how well they can detect threats and protect your device. Independent testing institutes have determined that TotalAV can detect 100% of 4-week-old malware. These are older and more common threats, and therefore easier to detect. But what about zero-day malware, which tends to be less documented? TotalAV doesn't do too bad here either, detecting the industry average or above in both tests throughout 2023. These scores alone can tell me that TotalAV is trustworthy, and any good Samaritan would probably just stop there. But I'm an expert. So that's why I planted 10 malicious files onto my device and ran a scan. The results were superb. TotalAV detected 10 out of 10 threats. Took only 12 minutes, but it did use as much as 90% of my CPU during the scan. Detection aside, security features are another part of the package. With TotalAV, there's real-time protection, which means you will always be protected. I wouldn't use a provider in 2024 that's lacking such an essential capability. That kind of goes hand in hand with ransomware protection too. Over the past few years, cybercriminals have turned such attacks into a multi-billion-dollar industry, so let's avoid funding their payroll. The standard stuff aside, TotalAV has some extra security features that I appreciate. The first is their password manager. It lets you securely store, organize, and retrieve all of your login details whenever you need them. I can also use their generator to create complex, harder-to-hack passwords for all my online accounts. Going further down the rabbit hole, we've got TotalAV's VPN, a slippery slope in the antivirus world because it is tough to compete with dedicated VPN tools. How does TotalAV's VPN do? Well, with unlimited data, pretty good. What got me most, though, is the speed. In some instances, TotalAV can be pretty fast. Yet, their server list and functionality are rather pale in comparison. If you've used top VPNs before, what you can do with this VPN might feel limited. Then there's other stuff, like the ad blocker, which removes intrusive or potentially harmful ads while I browse online. In some cases, even video ads can be blocked on platforms that shouldn't be named. And finally, there's identity theft protection. When it comes to my personal data, it is a godsend, making sure anything really sensitive isn't leaked and sold online. While these are all excellent security features, you experts at home should know that TotalAV still doesn't have a firewall. This for me is a big shame, as a lot of the top providers do. Still, I recommend TotalAV for countless reasons, especially for beginners. I like that the main desktop app is simple to use since it has a traditional antivirus layout. It doesn't feel cluttered and I can find everything easily. For a beginner, this is a huge advantage. You stay in one window, scans can be found here, and even the advanced tools can be accessed just from here too. Furthermore, the mobile apps are feature-packed, functional, and easy to use as well. I'd argue that TotalAV is the best antivirus for iOS, mainly because of the long list of features it has. It is rare for an iOS antivirus to offer a lot of features, let alone specifically tailored ones. Now, regardless of devices, no user should pay extortionate subscription fees. How much is TotalAV compared to the market? Well, they offer a few different plans, with Total Security arguably being the most popular because of its full feature list and 6-device cap. Having said that, it is the most expensive out of the bunch. So for any beginner, the Pro plan should suffice. Coming in at just under $30 for the first year, it is a reasonable ask. Just remember, you will generally get a better value with a longer subscription, and you can access the best deals currently using the links in the description down below. Moving on to another Best Antivirus 2024 candidate, enter Norton Antivirus. With this provider, the proof is in the pudding, with glowing independent testing scores in all categories. You can even see they've had top marks for protection going back years. They also match or score above the industry average for 0-day and 4-week-old detection. After seeing this, it was no shock that they did so well in my testing, detecting 10 out of 10 threats. What I will say here though, they can use a lot of system resources compared to some competitors, so it's better to leave it alone while you run a full scan. Yet another perk of Norton is the extras that you get. Let's take a look at a couple notable mentions. First, their Smart Firewall, which makes them stand out compared to other best antivirus software. What's more, it's a two-way silent firewall, so a lot more advanced than just the built-in Windows one. Of course, there's the real-time and ransomware protection, but a unique addition is the parental controls. Depending on the plan you choose, there are all types of supervision customizations, and the ability to whitelist websites, making browsing much safer for your whole family. You can even set up different rules for different children, something you can't do with many other antivirus providers. There's plenty of other handy stuff, like the password manager. I'd say this is quite comprehensive in terms of functionality too, with easy syncing across devices and even QR code scanning for convenience. Then there's the VPN too. This is quite good at letting me browse privately, and I didn't detect any IP or DNS leaks while connected due to the kill switch. But what's most impressive is it includes split tunneling on their Android and Windows versions, a feature that lets me customize which apps I want to run through the encrypted connection, or which to exclude. Those aside, I could speak for ages about the various security perks of Norton. Their system optimizations, SafeCam, anti-tracking, safe browsing, and even dark web monitoring features too. All of those together make quite the hefty security arsenal. It sounds like a lot, right? So you could find yourself flustered trying to set up all these features? To be frank, the installation and setup of Norton is a breeze. And while I find the interface intuitive, you should know that a lot of features open up in new windows, which can feel a little messy. But I do like that they're accessible. Their desktop and mobile apps are feature-packed, and the dashboard gives me an at-a-glance update of my protected status. Something important to cover real quick is that Norton was often branded expensive. While their top plan pricing is quite steep, their entry-level plan isn't that different from other providers. Sure, it is basic and only covers one device, but the plan up from this includes some advanced tools and isn't that much more per month. Just keep in mind if you want to cover a lot of devices, this provider can cost a higher sum. I'd say Norton is ideal if you're a little more experienced, can invest a bit more, and want really reliable protection and advanced features. If that sounds like you, check the description for the most exclusive updated pricing. However, if you were impressed with Norton's detection score, wait until you see Bitdefender as a top-rated product. Furthermore, they've won the AV Comparative's Product of the Year award more times than any other provider. If that isn't worthy of a best antivirus spot, I don't know what is. Their detection scores are glowing in both 0-day and 4-week-old malware, and not to mention, they're from a truly reputable cybersecurity company. Did I find anything worth mentioning in my own testing? Just that they get top marks from me, with 10 out of 10 malicious files detected. Their full scan took around 15 minutes, and the CPU was quite standard. In terms of extras, the security is there. Real-time and ransomware protection, an anti-tracking browser extension, and even anti-theft capabilities that let you lock your device remotely if it is lost or stolen. Bitdefender gives TotalAV a run for their money, seeing as they actually have a firewall, albeit not as advanced as Norton's. It still lets you monitor all the connections from your device. I really like their profiles feature. This means that I can tailor my antivirus to different scenarios, rather than having to disable it completely and not sacrifice my computer's performance in the meantime. There's all types of settings available, from gaming to work or even battery saving mode. Just like Norton, Bitdefender is one of a handful of providers that offers parental controls too. From what I found, it is intuitive, with everything sectioned off nicely on its own dashboard, and has similar functionalities to Norton's feature. Now they've generously included a VPN with their plans, without adding an additional cost. With split tunneling, a kill switch, and a good amount of servers, it's decent. You should know that it doesn't have the most modern protocol though, and it isn't a no-log service, so not really the most anonymous option out there. Furthermore, their 200 megabyte data limit is laughable. Aside from that, Bitdefender also offers a password manager, and like their VPN, it can't really compete with dedicated tools. but it is a good extra for basic use and beginning users. On that note, beginners will really appreciate their interface. Bitdefender is one of my favorite providers to use because their dashboard is so neatly designed. With everything categorized and built in, even the password manager and other features can be accessed from these tabs on the left. I have got to mention though that while Bitdefender's desktop versions are quite similar, the mobile versions don't have the same story. Arguably, Bitdefender is the best antivirus for Android due to their long list of features it includes. Most impressively, a malware scanner, app lock, and identity theft measures. The iOS counterpart pales in comparison. With just a couple of useful features, it'll keep your device safe and comes with the VPN, but it just has less to offer when it comes to the shiny stuff. Is Bitdefender worth it? Now, that seems like a good place to segue into the money talk. How does Bitdefender compare to the others? Surprisingly, their pricing is pretty standard, and the silver lining is you get a lot more devices straight off the bat. Now, hold up a second before I move on to a surprising recommendation. I want to squash any comments that might ask, where is Kaspersky? I've been saying this for a while alongside quite a few other experts, and seeing as they're a Russian-owned company, I will not trust this provider with my data or support them. Moving on. Surfshark is a name that even a few years ago, I wouldn't have expected to put into this video. That is, until it launched Surfshark Antivirus. Believe me, throughout 2023, I was skeptical until they made a lot of updates to their software. The outcome is clear. Surfshark Antivirus is legit, blocking 91% of zero-day malware attacks and 100% of 4-week-old malware. In my own testing, Surfshark performed the quickest full scan out of the bunch, but it did detect a lower file count, 8 out of 10. Despite the lower detection rate, it is obvious that Surfshark does a good job of ridding your device of malware. But can this provider match dedicated antivirus features? Well, while there is no firewall and not even any parental controls, what they do have is one of the best VPNs on the market, coupled with their antivirus. But keep in mind, you can't just get the antivirus, which could be a con for some beginners or less tech-savvy individuals. I should mention that their VPN lets me do all activities that few providers on this list can, like stream content from across the world, browse safely, and avoid censorship. It doesn't just stop there. You get the Surfshark One bundle, which also comes with an ad and tracker blocker, data breach monitor, and safe search is advanced. The best part is the price for this whole bundle. It really is affordable considering all the tools you get. Could it be considered one of the best antivirus for Windows 10 or 11 options? Maybe. Seeing as they've finally launched real-time protection across desktop apps, I think if they add a firewall and a few more antivirus features, it could shock us in 2024. Either way, it is accessible on all major operating systems, and the layout is clear and easy to use. Another provider considered one of the best antivirus for Mac and Windows alike is Malwarebytes. Aside from being a fan favorite, Malwarebytes has a good score in independent testing, gaining just shy of the industry average in both 0-day and 4-week-old malware. In my testing, it did well, but not the best on this list, detecting 7 out of 10 threats. But I do appreciate that this provider has extremely low CPU usage while running scans. Also, you can scan for rootkits with the custom scan. Seeing as these are among the most difficult malware to detect, this is a big perk. In terms of security features, Malwarebytes has a lot of must-haves with their premium version, such as real-time and ransomware protection. Yet, they too don't have a firewall either, something that still baffles me with the industry titans. They do make up for it with this one unique feature, exploit protection. This is an advanced security feature that shields applications or browsers that could be exploited through various vulnerabilities. That aside, there are various other protections for your browsing, in the form of an extension or malicious website protection, a VPN with over 500 servers, and the market's most modern and secure tunneling protocol. Their VPN is even no logs. But most impressively, there's the remediation map, something I've never seen an antivirus implement before. This highlights instances when Malwarebytes detects potential threats on devices with other antivirus products installed. Just keep in mind, these are only threats detected across Windows devices, and while it is cool and gamifies the experience, I can't imagine it is 100% real time. While Malwarebytes has a lot of features, I don't expect their free version to be the same. Without real-time protection, I can't recommend it for anything serious. Yet, keep in mind their premium plans can be on the higher side. And You'd only get the VPN with the top-end plans. Last, but certainly not least, is also an unexpected provider, NordVPN Threat Protection. This is another VPN that has branched out to fight malware, but doesn't do as well as Surfshark antivirus. Well, with this one, it's a shame that I don't have independent testing institute results to reference, so hopefully they'll get on that soon. But in my own testing, NordVPN Threat Protection managed to detect 8 out of 10 threats in real time. Something to note here is that NordVPN Threat Protection doesn't function as an antivirus entirely. It runs deep scans on downloaded files and also prevents you from ending up on malicious websites. Coupled with the VPN, it guarantees privacy, blocks trackers, prevents third parties from gathering your personal data, and blocks ads too. NordVPN offers 2 versions of threat protection, the Lite and the standard version. The former is available for desktop devices and offers all the features I've covered, alongside a fully fledged VPN. The latter is a stripped back version, available on desktop, mobile, or browser extension, and only works when you're connected to a VPN server. The antivirus capabilities aside, it goes without saying this security tool is advanced, especially considering you're getting a top-grade VPN that is currently the fastest and most modern on the market. I find their map interface to be the most easy to use I've encountered, and the antivirus is built in and really simple to access and use. In terms of cost, the long-term plans work out most cost-effective, and for the bundle, it really is affordable considering all that you get. So, just remember, any of my top picks are all safe and secure, and be sure to consider your daily habit while making a choice. There are various benefits to each of them. Do you have any antivirus for Windows 10 or 11 recommendations? What about Mac or mobile antivirus? If you need more answers, I'll leave helpful videos on the screen. And don't forget, all the deals can be found down below. All the best.